KC's Audio Vault.
Lead singer Pelle of the Hives, May 16th, 2008.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going today?
Hey, good.
How are you enjoying the Canadian leg of the tour?
Love it. I love going to new places, There's a couple of places we have never played before. Also, Canada has a lot in common with Sweden.
What sort of things do we have in common?
Well, weather, and then the weather kind of fosters a particular personality, I think.
A little bit more laid back than Americans?
I don't know if that's it, but it's just, maybe calmer at least.
But you don't want us to be calm. You're here to rile us up.
Yeah, but that will not be a problem. You're calm until the Hives start playing, then there's no being calm anymore. But that's the same for everywhere in the world. So I was just talking about the time when we're not playing.
Have you played to a crowd that just didn't get on board with the Hives?
Yeah, maybe in the beginning, but not a whole lot. I mean, in 15 years, maybe it's happened 2 or 3 times. So it's a good track record. It's always a certain percentage that don't get with it. It's just like, if you take 100% of the world's population, at least 2% will be idiots.
When you guys started out, did you ever think your songs would be in TV commercials and TV shows and wrestling events?
No, we didn't. That's the short answer.
Did your opinion of that change over the years?
Well, yeah, I guess it did. For a while, I thought that was something that we didn't want to do. But then I'm kind of like, it's still a little bit, the commercial thing is a little bit uncomfortable for me, but the rest of it, like wrestling, I used to love wrestling as a kid, man. That's cool. And it's like effective, it's effective, simple rock and roll. Even though a lot of people try to turn it into it's not highbrow culture. It's supposed to be for everybody. Like, I think our music is, we try to make it in a way that, so that we like it. I mean, that's our main focus. But then, I think rock and roll music should be for everybody. I think that's kind of where it went wrong, when it was supposed to be for an exclusive little club, or, just vinyl collectors can listen to my band or whatever.
Growing up in Sweden, you watched the World Wrestling Federation? You watch Macho Man?
Yeah, World Wrestling Federation. It's in the 80s sometime, and I was a young kid, and I used to love watching wrestling.
Who was your favorite back then?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I think. Isn't that the guy with the plank?
His 2x4.
Yeah, that was my favorite. It was such a stupid shtick that I could not help but love it.
He was a bit of a hick.
Yeah, hick, but with a 2x4. I just thought it was really funny. I liked it. And then there are a bunch of other people, like Ultimate Warrior was popular in my neighborhood and stuff like that.
Did wrestling ever tour across the world? Did you ever get to see
we
it?
just saw it on TV, which made it even more exotic,
Did you get a lot of American culture?
Yeah, it was a lot of TV shows. We had, whatever, Cosby and Happy Days. We've kind of, in a weird way, in history, most people in the Western world are at least partly growing up culture as Americans. And I guess we're no different.
What got you into playing music with your friends?
I think music itself, just that felt like sounds kind of highbrow, but it was the art form that appealed to me the most, or it seemed like it gave me the most to listen to music, more so than, looking at pictures or even watching films. Like, music was always something that I could relate to, and that gave me something when I listened to it, and also I felt like something I could do well. But we always had like a pretty firm vision of what we wanted to do.
Is it true that when you got together, you planned only to do 3 albums because bands tend to suck after that?
Yeah, that's true. But I think most bands that are good say something to that extent in the beginning of their career. Yeah, we were very serious when we said it. But then at this point, it feels like we don't really want to do anything else, and people still want us to do this. So let's just keep doing it.
What do you think of bands like the Rolling Stones or AC/DC still churning out albums, and even they're 60 plus?
Here's the thing, that I think that both AC/DC and the Rolling Stones, their last albums are pretty good. So I don't mind at all, actually. I don't think it's exclusively a young man's game or, anything like that. They're still good. I enjoy the, old guy rock and roll. I don't mind. Because sometimes a lot of young bands are just not very good. Sometimes bands just need 10 years to be good,
Do you feel that you're wiser after all these years, after you just put out your 4th album?
Yeah. I hope I am. I was not looking at myself at the age when we did our first record. I was a lot of things, but I was not very wise. So at least a little bit more would be good.
And you're still holding up after all these years? The howling and the jumping around?
Yeah, I am actually. Stronger than ever. No, there are parts of my body that hurt, but it's worth it. Busted my knee a couple of weeks ago in London, and my shoulder is a little off, but I can't just stand around when I sing. I just have to do things, because that's the way I feel like doing things, so then I should.
For the new disc, Black and White album, how'd you get hooked up with all these super producers like NERD and Timbaland?
Well, we met them, and they said they wanted to work with us, and we said, yeah, let's give it a shot. It was really that simple. It worked the same way it works with everybody we ever recorded with. I guess we met them in more exotic locations, like we met Pharrell Williams at a festival in Japan, and he saw the show and had heard our records and really liked it and said he wanted to work with us. So then like a year or two later, we wanted to start off our new album recording by doing something that was very out of character, or something that seemed new to us, because we had done, we walk into a room with a rock band and start playing. That kind of recording we had done for 10 years, so it felt like we wanted to put everything on its head, and it did that.
Have you experienced any backlash from old fans or old friends?
Before the record came out, when people heard about the fact that we were doing it, there was some backlash. But since then, no, not really. Maybe they heard it and thought it was fine, But it is a record where people have different favorites, it seems, like even more so than the other records. A lot of people will be certain that, this is the best song on the record, and a lot of other people will be certain that it's a different song. So I guess that means it's an even record or something, but that means that maybe they don't have to like every song on the record, I guess.
Well, what's in the future for you guys? Are you still writing while you're touring?
No, really, no, we never really did. We go on tour for like a year, and then when we're done with that, we kind of go home and see what we want to do, musically. It feels like we have a lot of ideas going around, but it might take a while to turn them into a record.
You don't have any plans for a clothing line or fragrances?
Not really. Wallpaper.
Wallpaper?
Yeah. Hives wallpaper. We're working on that. And puzzles and all kinds of other stuff. We thought we were going to be, the new Kiss and just merchandise the hell out of everything and make towels. And it seems to be a lot slower than we thought it was.
Harder getting into the merchandising, or you just sort of like that was an idea that you dropped?
No, it just takes a while because you got to get someone to figure out how much it costs to make wallpaper and where you make it and if you can make it in smaller series. Because most of the people that make wallpaper make a shitload of wallpaper. So there's all these, manufacturing things. We like to come up with the idea that we're going to make wallpaper, but then actually doing it involves so much boring work that we'd rather spend playing our instruments.
So did you want your faces on the wallpaper? Or just the word The Hives?
I think like a huge live photo would be pretty good. Some people have a wall that's like an autumn forest or a tropical island. You could just have a Hives concert. It's like, if that's your favorite place, you should be able to have it as a wallpaper. You can constantly imagine being at the Hives show.
A full mural, a full wall mural.
Exactly, a mural of the
Hives. The single Tick Tick Boom, is there any story behind writing that one?
It's just one of these things where it felt like, it's the most international thing you can say on a record is Tick Tick Boom. It's a sound effect, basically. It was really natural. I mean, the way all the parts came together. It was kind of one of these riffs that played itself a little bit, and then all of a sudden somebody said Tick Tick Boom, and then we had the skeleton of it. But it took a long time to record in its final form,
Thank you very much for getting me on the phone here.
Oh, yeah, no problem. It was a pleasure. See you in Canada, right?
Yeah, you'll be here in Winnipeg on Tuesday. You're playing a great place. It's called the Burton Cummings Theater. It's a really old, like vaudevillian, like 150-year-old building. It's great.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Okay, well, take care. Thanks for the call.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.